Hi, welcome to day 15 or baby step 14 of the FlyLady system. If you haven't seen the previous videos, go ahead and click the playlist below and watch them in order, one per day. These are habits that you are working on building into routines that will become the foundation of how you manage your house and part of your personal life. So up to this point, we've done 13 baby steps. And the ones that we continue to hold on to, in addition, some of them were kind of like a one-off, like delete all of your FlyLady emails or create an inspirational page for your control journal. But the ones that we are consistently doing, and of course you don't want to miss any of those one-offs, but the ones we consistently do are the morning and before bed routine. So you can break these tasks up into either routine as long as you get all of these things done during your day. FlyLady suggests for your morning routine, you're going to get dressed to lace up shoes, fix your hair and face. Look at your Post-its that will remind you of basic tasks as well as remind you to check your control journal. Read your FlyLady daily morning message. Recognize the negative voices and change them. Do a 2-minute hotspot, a 5-minute room rescue, and 15 minutes decluttering in any room that you would like. And again, make sure you look at your control journal because that's basically like your checklist of what you're going to do for the day. Her suggested before bed routine is to shine your sink, lay out your outfit for the following day, do a 2-minute hotspot, and just look at your control journal one more time to make sure you got everything done for that day. It's not, some of these things you need to do at certain times of the day, like you always shine your sink at night. Of course, you're going to get dressed to lace up shoes in the morning if you have a normal scheduled job. But the other things, you can get them done throughout the day as long as you get everything done. So baby step 14 is to read her essay about using a calendar. So at this point, it's just reading the essay about using the calendar. If you are a person that she calls people calendar challenged, this is kind of just a bunch of information that is helpful, and hopefully you will get a calendar in place. But at this point, it's just reading that essay. And this can be found on her website. So I'm going to give you some of the basic points of what's in the calendar essay, but of course you would want to probably go and find that and read it so that you have that information more in depth than what I'm going to give you. So basically the idea of having a calendar is that it's in a central place where everybody in the family can see it. She says even if you have your own planner, that you still should have a central calendar for everyone, because that will help to make sure that everybody is there on time, where they need to be. Nobody has to rely on their memory, and you can stay consistent and get where you need to go. And everybody is aware of what is going on. It's not just you are responsible for making sure everybody knows. Everybody has their own personal responsibility to check the calendar. FlyLady offers a calendar. I haven't ever bought it, but I think once our son is older or old enough to read and have his own little schedule, that I probably will have a central calendar. But at this point, it's just my husband and me, and we don't have a ton of stuff going on, and I'm pretty good about reminding him of where we need to go or whatever. And I've always kept a calendar or a planner, obviously by my planner playlist if you want to check that out. But if you have a family, or even if it's just you and your spouse, it might be good to have that calendar, because in having that, you're not responsible for everybody's schedule. Everybody's responsible for themselves. So some of the things that she suggests you put on your calendar are family events. So that would be things like birthdays, anniversaries, that type of thing. She also suggests that you put any kind of schedules on the calendar. So let's say and she suggests you put it in immediately as soon as you get a copy of that schedule. So it could be the school schedule for the year, or a sports schedule, or Boy Scouts, or dance, or whatever people in your family participate in. Maybe your husband goes to a monthly meeting for, I don't know what, or whatever. Any kind of a regular schedule that you have, immediately sit down at your calendar, write all of those days and times in, so that you know not to schedule over those. If you can't write it in immediately, she says paper clip it right to the front of your calendar so that you constantly see that, and when you have a couple minutes, write it in. Something like that might seem overwhelming and you think, well, I don't have time to do that, but how long is it really going to take you? Probably less than 10 minutes, probably less than 5 minutes if you actually just sit down and do it. The next thing that she suggests that you put on your calendar are any invitations that you get. So she had a few steps for this. The first thing is, do not just look at an invitation you get in the mail and then put it on a hotspot. You need to immediately deal with it so that you don't forget it. So the first thing you need to decide is, do you want to go or not? If you want to go, the second thing that you need to do is you need to go and check your calendar, because you will have, all of your other things in there. Go and check your calendar and make sure that there's no conflict. If you want to go, there's no conflict, then immediately write that date and time and event on your calendar and take care of that RSVP. How long would this process take us? Less than 5 minutes for sure, to just think, do I want to go? Look at the calendar. If yes, fill out your RSVP and deal with it right then, so you don't let anything fall through the cracks. You don't want to write the event on your calendar and never RSVP, and then you show up and they weren't expecting you. If you don't want to go, if you have to RSVP, take care of it right then. And if you don't want to go and you don't have to RSVP, throw it away. And either way, whether you had to RSVP or not, throw it away. Get rid of the clutter. It's on your calendar if you wanted to go. It's in the trash if you didn't want to go. The next thing that she says you should put on your calendar are appointments. So once we get into like the weekly routine, there'll be a time for you to sit down and do all of your paperwork type stuff. And she suggests putting your appointments on the day that you do your desk day work, so that you have your calendar in front of you and all of that. But some of us don't always have that luxury. So she says, look at your calendar for any kind of conflicts when you're making the appointment, and then immediately write it down, so that you know that there was no conflict and you could schedule the appointment for right then. If you go to the doctor and you get a little, or the dentist, and you get one of those little reminder cards, as soon as you get home, immediately just take that little card, write it on the calendar. You can pitch the card because you don't need it anymore, it's garbage, and your appointment is right then. If you get home and you see that you accidentally scheduled an appointment where you already have a conflict, then you can immediately call the doctor's office and say, you know what, I just scheduled this appointment, but I need to change it. That way you don't have to worry about getting charged for a missed appointment or waiting too long to reschedule, and now, instead of having your appointment 3 months from now, now it has to be 6 months from now. You just take care of things right then. It's like the get it done now principle, or the do it now principle. If it's something that's going to take you probably less than 5 minutes, just do it. So these are the things she suggests you put in your calendar. These would be for all of your family, so everybody can see everybody's schedule. If you have your own classes that you're taking, and then you have kids in sports or whatever, everybody sees where everybody is. We see any conflicts. Everybody has an idea of who's doing what in the family. Another thing that she suggests is to use stickers, highlighters, or colored pens or pencils, so that you have visuals to help people. So let's say that, if we're going to, like, if your son has, his own events, maybe all of those are going to be like in green, and all of your events are going to be in red, and all of your husband's events are going to be in blue, and your daughters are going to be in orange, whatever, everybody has their own color. That can be helpful. Stickers might be helpful because it just draws your eye and it makes it kind of stand out a little more. One of the things that I do in my planner is anything that's a timed event or appointment, I'll highlight it so that it stands out as more than just a to-do or a task. One thing that she didn't have in the calendar essay, but that she often talks about in her emails, and that I think is something helpful to put on your calendar, is your meal plan. And this is one of her monthly habits that she tries to, or that we build. There's a lot of steps to this system, and it can be overwhelming, but not when you take it baby steps at a time. But one of the other things you can do is you can meal plan on your calendar. So let's say that you aren't going to plan meals ahead of time, you don't even know really where to start. One of the things she says is just each night when you eat dinner, write down what you ate for dinner on your calendar. That way, in a couple weeks, you'll see what your family ate over the past couple weeks, and you can use that to actually help you create a meal plan for the future. So that was just one thing that I'm going to throw in that wasn't in her essay, but that she often talks about. Of course, you can throw other things in that you want, but when thinking about just a family calendar that would be for everyone, you probably don't need a whole lot more than this on your family calendar. This gives everybody an idea of where each other is, what they have going on, and the famous question, what's for dinner, which I get asked almost on a daily basis. So that is it for baby step 14, just reading that essay about calendars. If you feel like you can create a calendar at this point, do it. If you're already using your own personal planner, but you've never used a family calendar, maybe it's something you want to consider so that you aren't responsible for everybody, but everybody is responsible for themselves. I hope that you found this helpful. If you have any questions, you can leave them in the comments below. I forgot to say this, I think, at the beginning, but congratulations on making it 2 weeks through the FlyLady's baby steps. Hopefully you're seeing a difference. It can be difficult anytime you're trying to do something new. Maybe you've forgotten things sometimes, or you just haven't felt like you had time in the day. You have to forgive yourself for that and just move on. Progress, not perfection, right? So if you have, let a few things fall through the cracks, you just pick up the next day and you do the best you can every day, because whatever you're doing at this point is better than not doing anything or than what you used to do. And so you are making progress. You just have to be a little bit forgiving of any kind of, mistakes or, things that you have forgotten. There's no sense in beating yourself up about it. This is a process that you're doing to try to change your life for the better. So, be proud of yourself and your progress for doing this so far for 2 weeks. You're probably doing better than a large percentage of the population at this point anyway. So make sure you're doing your routines, you're keeping up on these little one-up or one-off tasks, and just be proud of your progress. You're probably, if you're doing the decluttering and the hot spots and the 5-minute room rescue, you're probably already seeing progress. If you're getting dressed to lace up shoes every day, I am sure that your family notices, and you probably act different because you're ready to go and you're already setting a better example for people. If you're keeping your sink shiny and clean, people in your family are going to notice that. So be proud of yourself. Questions in the comments below, and I will see you for baby step 15. Thanks for watching. Bye.